that it's a buyer's market. Normally the buyer decides what he wants, what is the competition, how does he procure it. Ammunition is one field. Today it's a seller's market. Seller is deciding at what price he wants to give this ammunition, to whom does he want to give this ammunition, at what cost he wants to give this ammunition, in what time frame he wants to give this ammunition. There can't be a better environment than this for the industry. But then, as the speakers before me have highlighted, you can't ramp up the ammunition manufacturing in a day or 2 days or 3 days. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to slog, and you have to slog to reach the expertise which is required in ammunition manufacturing, so that you have the desired quality, desired capacity to meet the industry expectations. Our visionary Prime Minister, when he took over in his first term, gave this call for Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliance in all manufacturing processes and especially defense products. Government of India has taken various policy initiatives which we are all aware of. Defense manufacturing was opened up for the industry for the first time. Exclusive licenses were allowed for the industry. Defense corridors were set up. All this has helped us in reaching where we are today. Under the guidance of Government of India, Indian Army launched an initiative for indigenizing their ammunition. We started with the vision that in next couple of years, we'll have zero import of ammunition. It was a tall vision. Tall vision because in 60, 70 years before that, we were always dependent on imports for meeting our critical ammunition requirements. And it is the active cooperation of all the stakeholders, Government of India, Ministry of Defence, ordnance factories, industry partners, that today I am so happy to convey that we are very close to realizing our vision of zero import. Next financial year, 25-26 onwards, we will not have any import of ammunition other than quantities where the economical order quantities are not available for small quantities, where it is not economical for the industry to get into that particular ammunition. Indian Army has about 175 odd ammunition items. 154 of them have been indigenized. We are 100% sourcing it from Indian sources. Balance 21 also, as Colonel Kuber had highlighted, we have that Government of India initiative for manufacturing of ammunition through Indian Industry Initiative. 1600 crores worth of supply orders under that. 30 variants, 12 ammunition items, they are all being progressed. 2 contracts already signed, 4 contracts at the contract stage now, balance all in trial stage. We are very, very hopeful of rectifying all those in next 1 year. All this would not have been possible without the active participation of the industry. As far as the market size is concerned, Indian Army only is buying ammunition worth 6,000 to 8,000 crores annually. And all this is now going to come 100% from Indian sources. As of now, 5 to 10% of it is coming through export sources. This is also going to increase almost 8 to 10% every year due to our growing requirements. As far as world requirement is concerned, Colonel Kuber had highlighted, potential is immense. More than $30 billion worth of market is available. We are not even 1% of that is being met through Indian sources. We have a capacity to come to 5 to 10% in next 4 to 5 years, and maybe 25 to 30% as the year goes.
So, I stand in front of you to talk about air armament. nobody has spoken about it. All other aspects regarding innovation and ramping up production has been covered. But let me give you a different perspective from Air Force's point of view. See, the Air Force is using armament which is fitted on the aircraft, carried by the aircraft and then delivered from air. It is either from the fighter aircraft or from a helicopter, and it comes in multiple variety. It can be a missile, it can be a rocket, it can be a gun, it can be a dumb bomb, it can be a smart bomb. Those kind of things are there. And similarly, from a helicopter also we have rockets, we have missiles, air-to-air missiles and air-to-ground missiles. And these are very high technology items. Recently, a new area has opened up which is related to drones. You may have heard or you may have seen on TV, actually this is more visible on TV, that somebody sitting 1,000 kilometers away carrying out takes a drone and kills somebody, or takes a shot on a convoy using an unmanned aerial vehicle which is carrying missiles. All these are smart weapons, very sophisticated weapons, and very costly to develop also. So, like everybody else, Air Force is also, Air Power is also becoming indigenous in India, and almost all our equipment, armament is either being sourced from indigenous sources or it is under development. Now, development of air armament is a costly affair because a lot of testing is required. During testing, like I can give you an example. When we were doing flight testing of Astra missile, we have fired close to about 35 missiles to prove that the missile is doing what it is meant to do. And each missile is costing upwards of about 6 crores. So you can imagine the amount of money and the amount of effort required. And each missile, when you fire for testing purpose, you should have a target. There is a fighter aircraft which is carrying it, and there is one chase aircraft, one filming aircraft. So the amount of the paraphernalia required, it is beyond actually any private industry. That is what my feeling is. So that is why you will see all air armament is getting developed through DRDO. Now, what government has started is, earlier it was only going to DPSUs. The development used to happen along with DPSUs. Now the development is happening along with something called development and production partner. And DRDO is selecting these DCPPs. As per policy, they are supposed to select 2 of them, at least. And they take part, and now private sector people are also coming. This is one aspect. Second is, even when DPSUs are producing this whole missile or this armament is made of multiple parts. There is a sensor in front, there is a warhead, then there is the airframe, there are various devices which control it, and there are some computers inside it. All these are getting made by various companies which are mostly private in nature. Like we have BrahMos missile which we are exporting. Close to about 35% of the missile is being made outside BrahMos Limited. It is made by private sector people. All the computers which are getting fitted, they are being made by Astra Microwave. So, like this, lot of participation is happening from the private sector, but as a supplier of systems, subsystems, or some niche technology. What I see is a lot of companies which are in and around Hyderabad and in Bangalore, they have found their niche area and they are making it in bulk. I have seen some of these companies. Now, how we need to improve? Actually, a lot of this has been covered. To use an airborne armament, it has to be integrated with the aircraft. So the more number of aircraft or the more number of platforms are missile or are bomb or are smart weapon is integrated, the market will expand that much more. So if my let's say Astra missile, today it is only integrated Su-30 or LCA. If I am able to integrate it with Rafale or F-16 or any other weapon, aircraft like this, the market will expand. So they will come to you only because of reasons which have been well explained. So we have to take this step that the integration on the airborne platform, this canvas has to be increased, and that is we are in talks with DRDO and with industry to work on this aspect. That air armament is a very niche area of technology. For private industry, I do not see full-fledged equipment coming up in near future, but sometime later when big companies are able to do partnership with DRDO, they can come up nicely. But there are a lot of scope in sub-components and small items like this, and you have to get into that with full josh. Order, there is no limit actually, so that has already been covered, so I don't want to touch on this topic. So with this, thank you very much and all the best to all of you.
The second issue is that we in the H2 Ideas have carried out a detailed analysis of the ammunition that is being produced in India, and we have made a plan for the indigenization of the ammunition so that it's very clear to us that we are able to inform the industry and the concerned people that what is the way ahead. And from that perspective, we have categorized the ammunition as ammunition armament that is fully indigenized, legacy equipment or low quantity items where indigenization is not envisaged, which was already brought out earlier. P is the armament or ammunition which is already under indigenization. Delta or D, ammunition with partial import dependence. It included ammunition armament that is overall indigenous except for some key components which need to be addressed so that critical dependencies are not there. And of course, November or N are niche tech or sophisticated equipment where TOT for indigenous manufacture is presently not available. And therefore, we need to have this in the back of our mind when we draw up the roadmap for indigenization of the ammunition, as was brought out by General Sharma earlier, that almost 80 to 90% of our ammunition is already indigenous. But there are certain key components, especially in the fuses, that we need to very, very critically address and address them sooner than later. And therefore, it is very important, which I must share with you, that while you are getting technologies, while you are getting orders from the Indian Army, Navy or the Air Force or the other services, please ensure that besides ramping up your production, please do invest in R&D. It is not sufficient that you give me an ammunition of today. If we have done a buy and make order and you have got the technology thereafter, please ensure that from day one you are looking at giving me the next version of the fuse or the ammunition, better quality product, more saleable product for Indian and international market. You should be able to thereafter take that technology to the next level. That is what we want from you. We will give you orders. That is run of the mill stuff. Once you get the orders, you should immediately start looking at what next. How is the next product that I am going to give to my armed forces in India? And of course, thereafter export also. Why not? So that's extremely important. And one of the key factors, as was brought out earlier, is that we want to be reliable suppliers and quality.
The fact that even after 75 years of independence, we still depend on import of ammunition, it speaks of volume about urgency of ramping up production of ammunition in India. It would not only strengthen our defense preparedness, but also align with the larger vision of Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. The ongoing conflicts have already had adverse impact on the supply chain of ammunition, and this is as maintainer we are facing on the ground. Thus, we must reduce our dependence on imports and take all measures to foster indigenous production. This will not only ensure a steady supply of ammunition but also create employment opportunities, boost technological innovation and bolster our economy. So though somewhere in 2003, though Navy had taken a vision that we will not do the further provisioning, but the industry, and that time it was only the Ordnance Factory Board which was available, they could manufacture the jet systems, but the core of the that is jet payload was still being imported. But when these initiatives came, the last 3-4 years of initiative, in that we found that the collaboration of DRDO, the maintainer, the inspector played a very major role, and Defense Lab Jodhpur could develop the requisite payload in 3 years of time. So such kind of policy initiatives and the collaboration among all the important players is very, very important. Secondly, the DRDO and now new formed DPSUs carved out from the ordnance factories of erstwhile Ordnance Factory Board play a pivotal role in indigenous defense production. These two organizations were at the forefront of developing cutting-edge technologies, manufacturing facilities for various types of ammunitions ranging from small arms to artillery shells and to the medium caliber guns of naval guns. Government decision to ban import, now foreign OEMs are also getting compelled to look to JVs with Indus Industries to set up facilities in India for manufacturing of ammunition to meet demand of not only armed forces of India but with an eye export to other countries. And this is what is happening. We have seen during last 1 or 2 years there have been hectic visits of the foreign OEMs with an intention to have the serious, JVs with Indian industries.
At present, DPSUs and private companies both are manufacturing and supplying various type of arms, ammunition and equipment to the military, and they are all exporting as well. We know some of the companies like Munitions India Limited, Huge Precision, Bharat Forge. But as I see the licenses, because I look after the license, recommendation for licenses to DPIIT and MHA, many companies, many industries have taken licenses, particularly in this field, arms and ammunition. But I found that in many cases the production has not been reported so far. So I would urge to all those industries through this forum that when you have got the licenses, please go ahead. Don't wait for anything because you have that opportunity and there is a demand. So ramp up your internal activities, establish your industry and go ahead with the production because the government has already permitted you. So I hardly find few industries, 4 or 5 industries who are manufacturing arms and this ammunition and providing to our military or exporting it. Whereas licenses, the number of licenses, if I see in the last 4 years, not less than 40 licenses have been given in the ammunition sector. We are aware that the task of ramping up of capacities is full of challenges, and if I mention some of them, then access to critical technologies for advanced ammunition production in India is very restricted. That is why we are encouraging indigenization of various type of ammunitions through make process, defense innovation or other means. You need to look at the training part because the initial adaptation time for newer technology is longer in Indian conditions due to non-availability of trained workforce. Then we have also heard that military standards are of very high nature, So compliance of stringent quality checks during ammunition production and proof firing, this is another area where industry has to look at, and similarly its employees also should be aware of that. There is need to adopt strategies for ramping up of production capacities. Some of them which I would like to mention, that upgrading your existing infrastructure and machinery is crucial. As I mentioned, that we need to be agile with the changing technologies. Investment in automation and advanced manufacturing techniques can increase production capacity. Are promoting R&D and development of local skill sets, which we have already mentioned about, and then about the standardizing. We are encouraging public-private partnership. We are also, through Make in India initiative, wherein the financial support incentives are also being given for establishment of production facilities for new components.